Well, thank you everybody for coming tonight to celebrate with us and celebrate and support free adult education in Dane County. I am Robin Ryan. I am the Executive Director at Literacy Network. Thank you. Tonight you will hear two students read their writings from the Literacy Network 2026 collection of student compositions titled Dreams in Progress. You all have a copy on your seat to take home with you. Then a panel of 3 students will share their stories about their lives and the role that adult education programs have played in their journeys. I will start with a brief introduction to Literacy Network for those of you who are less familiar with our work. We provide free education programs to more than 1,700 adults annually in Dane County. Students attend classes and work with volunteer tutors to achieve individual goals such as English language communication, high school completion, and citizenship. Students include both immigrants and lifelong U.S. residents who dream of advancing careers, earning diplomas, supporting their children's education, and deepening their civic engagement. Students come from over 80 countries and speak more than 60 languages. We hold classes at our Learning Center on South Park Street, at the Omega School building on West Badger Road, on Zoom, and at 14 additional school, community center, and library locations across Dane County, as well as several workplace sites. And we benefit from services of over 300 volunteers. Thank you to those of you who are here tonight. I do want to acknowledge the national and local context in which we gather this evening. While national policies are causing disruption and distress, Dane County community members are demonstrating the power to create positive impact through local action. Currently, the U.S. is not welcoming refugees and is not providing support for refugees who are already here. The citizenship process is stalled or blocked for applicants from 75 countries who are now subject to extraordinary vetting measures. And many immigrants feel unwelcome. Last year, Literacy Network first lost $90,000 annually in a federal grant for citizenship, and this year we will lose another $200,000 for refugees. Additionally, $75,000 in federal education funding that was threatened last year has again been removed from the preliminary federal budget. In contrast, local action has been uplifting. Yes, we do see some immigrants choosing to leave the country, and others are deterred from taking classes. But most students persist in attending classes, and new students continue to register. When we lost federal funding for citizenship last year, individual donors and local foundations stepped in to fund the citizenship program. We benefited not only from the funding, but also the heartfelt words of support and the recognition of the importance and excellent quality of the work that Literacy Network staff and volunteers provide. Our supporters, including all of you, sustain our work through the good times as well as the more challenging ones, so thank you. Tonight, as we celebrate everything that community support makes possible, we would like to recognize our event sponsors. They are American Family Insurance, Associated Bank, Barnwood Events, Boardman Clark, Findorf, General Beverage, Along Bay, Left Bank Wine and Spirits, Little Palace, Oak Bank, Orange Tree Imports, Park Bank, Anna Elias and Andrew Klarkowski, Task, The Shop, Ticey, and Whipfley. Thank you. My final celebratory comment is that our merger with Omega School has been a great success. Look for news this summer on planned expansion of high school completion program offerings. Now, let's invite our student speakers to the front who share the personal impact of free adult education programs. Alana Seidman, a Literacy Network instructor, will introduce our first student speaker. Then Rob McCullough, a volunteer tutor, will introduce our second, and I will return later to set up our panel.
Thank you so much, Robin. So I'm Ilana Seidman. I've been teaching at Literacy Network for almost a decade now. It's unbelievable. And I've worked with hundreds of students across programs. And one of these amazing students is here tonight to share her story. So Mariana joined my class in the third week. And normally that can be a little bit tricky, but her amazing personality and big smile and good questions have helped our class move forward. So she doesn't just inspire her classmates, she inspires me with her work ethic, which you can see both inside and outside of the classroom. She actually cut my daughter's hair, and it looks amazing. So she has many, many talents. I really look forward to seeing her each class, and I'm honored to hand over the mic to her so you can hear.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mariana. My husband and I came from Ecuador to Madison. In the beginning, it was very hard. The language, the food, and the weather were difficult because of the language barrier. Understand English as a hairstylist and try to get clients was difficult. So I took English class and little by little understand it is not perfect, but nothing is impossible. I have friends who speak English and Spanish. I like to play basketball with my friends. I have two children. My son is 18 years old and is in college. He really likes to draw. My daughter is 15 years old. She is manicured and has been doing it for 3 years. I am very proud of them. They are my support and my motivation. I am also a volunteer in different places, cutting hair, doing makeup, manicures, and more. English class at the Literacy Network help me speak and improve my pronunciation. That is my goal. Thank you to God and any thanks to the teacher for their passion and what a teaching. Thank you for everything. God bless you.
Good evening. I'm Rob McCalla. I've been working with Literacy Network for about a year now as a tutor, and I've had the opportunity to work with Joanne Brock, who I'm very pleased to introduce. He has many, many qualities that I've picked up on since we've started working together in November, and I'd like to tell you just about a couple of them. First, he's committed to the work that we do, whether it be in the class or outside the class. As a retired educator, I like the fact that he's willing to do homework. Second, he's open to trying all sorts of new things. As many of you know, literacy uses a number of different techniques and approaches to improve literacy skills. And Juan approaches each exercise with an openness and a willingness to try something. Final thing I'll point out to him, which is critically important, is he's very patient. Whether it be us going through word by word or sentence by sentence in some of our exercises, or whether it be my attempts to explain some of the quirks of the English language, he's very patient and he endures it all. So let me step back and let him tell you a bit about his journey.
My name is Jawan Brack. I was given 5 questions. Out of those 5, I picked 2. The first one is, what is your dream and why? My dream is to improve my reading, writing, and comprehension skills because I feel that I didn't have much help with them when I was younger. Now that I'm older and the world is full of options for me, I want to learn new things and go back to school. I'm going to need some help on my reading to succeed in whatever career that I choose to open up for a new journey in my life. Question 2. Does Literacy Network helps you get closer to your dream? How? I believe Literacy Network is helping me get closer to my dream because I'm learning things that I didn't catch on to when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I'm making progress. Sorry about that, guys. I'm making progress on them now, although there's one thing that I don't like about it. We only get one day out of the week to learn. But for me, that one day is better than no days. So I'm very thankful for that one day. It's a step closer to achieving my dream.
Thank you, Mariana and Juan, for sharing your stories with us. We really appreciate it. So now we're going to invite Jackie Judd and our student panel up to the front, and I'm just going to kind of walk and talk while they can come up. So I'm really pleased that Jackie was game to try a new format for our event this year, which is leading our wonderful panel of students. Jackie brings global perspective, interviewing skills, and most importantly, compassion to her role as our moderator this evening. Jackie is a nationally known journalist, formerly with ABC News, NPR, and the PBS NewsHour. She covered momentous events, including Tiananmen Square, Eastern Europe after the fall of the Berlin Wall, numerous presidential campaigns, and the AIDS epidemic. Jackie often covered stories involving underserved and immigrant populations, such as the saga of young Cuban emigre Elian Gonzalez, dissidents returning to Prague, and the displaced landowners of the West Bank. Jackie shifted to a second career in health policy and communications. Currently, she coaches global human rights activists for the American Jewish World Service, and she serves on several journalism, healthcare, and arts boards in her adopted home of Madison, Wisconsin. Jackie will lead more. It's my special request. Jackie's going to lead the panel, and then we'll have an opportunity for you to ask questions. We welcome questions about our panelists, experiences, and perspectives, but please let's forgo politics and intrusive personal questions. And now I hand it over to Jackie.
Thank you very much, Robin. Thank you for inviting me to join you tonight. Good evening, everybody. I am happy to be here with all of you, and especially these 3 Literacy Network learners. You've had a taste of this already, but I look at them and I see the epitome of resilience, persistence, and progress. I should add to that, adaptability. So much so that Juler from Nicaragua, sitting in the middle, told me that he has actually learned to love, wait for it, Wisconsin winters. Juler in Nicaragua was a psychologist, a chef, an actor. He's lived in Madison for several years at Literacy Network. He has taken several ESL classes. He's a member of the student leadership group. Rhonda, on the end there, has lived in different parts of this country through her life. She arrived in Madison about 6 years ago. At Literacy Network, she took part in the high school equivalency program, and last year earned her diploma. So cheers. And Kelly comes from Venezuela about 10 years ago, where she was a pharmaceutical sales rep. She is currently in the ESL tutoring program. You heard a little bit of that a moment ago, so one-on-one sessions. She's also a member of the Student Leadership Council. Thank you all again for agreeing to be here this evening. Kelly, you wrote an essay for Literacy Network that was moving, candid, hard to read in some ways because it expressed your frustration when you first came here, listening to an unknown language. And you said it was like you were suffering from some kind of deafness. Share a little bit more about those early challenging days. Nope, let's see.
So nervous.
Oh, it wasn't on. That was an easy fix.
Can you hear me? Hi, everybody. It's an honor here with and next to Jackie. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a superhero film. In order to that, my mom always said, don't be stupid. You don't have any superpower and we don't have the money with Bruce Wayne. And in order to that, every competition, every achievement, every trophy, I wanted to that. And I study, I work hard, I get 2 degrees, university degree. I became a manager in Pfizer, one of the most important laboratories in all entire world. And when I got to the US, I was so frustrated. Leaving your home country is about loss. It's so sad. You lost friends, things like your home, jobs, and the situation in my country before the communist government, it was so good. Venezuelans people were like rich people. And the situation turned in a nightmare. We lost food, medicine, safety. We lost freedom. And when you get everything that you want, and then you have to move to another country, you feel miserable. I couldn't communicate my thoughts and my feelings. You have to work jobs for low salaries because you don't have a document to work. And you can barely afford food or pay. You can afford English, private classes. And it's like Jackie say, can communicate and being around people speaking in an unknown language is so frustrating. Raise your hands. Who knows how to speak Charlie Brown's teacher? Blah, 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 blah. When you are around people speaking in another language, it's just like that.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And you still feel strong. I feel like an eagle when I live in my country. It's a big bird. It's a stronger, powerful. When the storm coming, they fly above the storm. And when I get to the US, I felt like an eagle with its wings clapped. You still are strong. You still are big. But without wings, it's useless. And
Kelly, thank you. And we will come back to the easier days that you've had of late. Rhonda, I wanted to turn to you now. In the essay you wrote for Literacy Network, you said that for many years in your life, you were not someone who even could imagine having a dream. Share a little bit of your life with us.
Very pleasure to be here. Growing up as a little girl, I didn't have option to dream like most children. I was in a very dysfunctional, raised by a single parent mother who was unfortunately addicted to drugs and lived a lifestyle that's not very becoming most people. So I lived all over the world. She traveled. Yeah, it was pretty dark. It was very traumatic. And unfortunately, I followed in her footsteps, and I became addicted to drugs and alcohol at a very early age. And with that type of lifestyle comes a lot of trauma and a lot of abuse. Unfortunately, some criminal downfalls. So I ended up incarcerated for 19 years and being taken away from the world and the right to be in society is the world keeps moving on. When I got released, 2023, like the world, it was like coming back into society was very hard, and to adapt to the technology that had came about. I felt like I had lived under a rock for a long time, and I was so far behind time. It was very difficult, and I got sober and in recovery while I was incarcerated. And so when I got released, I followed that and got involved in the recovery community here in Madison, and got affiliated with the Safe Communities and got a recovery coach, and got a NA sponsor. And she asked me what I'm going to do with my life. And I was like, the only thing I know to do is just don't do drugs, don't break the law, and report to my parole officer. Anything past that, I still didn't have a vision of what my life would look like. I had been in that cycle for over 4 decades, 53 years old, and like, what could life offer me at this point? Or what could I offer the community I lived in? And so my sponsor asked me, what was I going to do with my life? And I said, I don't know. Those are just the only 3 things. Don't use, don't get arrested, and report to my parole officer. And I lived in a sober living house. And she says, well, I'm going to give you a number. I want you to go back to school. So I said, okay. I was willing to follow any suggestion point. And I did. I called Madison College, and they told me to come in today. And so I enrolled into the HSED program at Madison in 23. And the Literacy Network came there to do to present their program to students that were willing to ask for help. And I had no problem asking for help because I knew I needed it. I was a piece of work. So I utilized that network and met with every Saturday at 9:30 for 8 months. And Miss Jamie, if it wasn't for the Literacy Network program, I don't know if my life would be where it was at today. Because I graduated the SATD program 8 months after I got in it. And now I'm a full-time student at Madison College, getting an associate's degree. And I also work at Madison College. And I never thought that I would have the life that I have today. And I am so grateful for the program that Literacy Network offers and for all the fine people in this community. And I just want to I'm in the human services field because I want to be a caseworker or a social worker because I want to advocate for people coming from the world that I come from who don't have a voice or don't know how to advocate for themselves or don't believe in themselves. And I want to help give back to the community that helped save my life.
Thank you, Rhonda. Juller, when you and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, you said when you came from Nicaragua, you felt like you needed to put your life in a little pocket and you needed to find a way to learn a new life and a new language. How did the Literacy Network help you find your way?
Uh, well, as I told you, uh, it's hard to take all your life. Or I have 43 years old, so I have to take all my life and put it in a little bag. And I don't know how to explain the feeling and uh, how it's if I say it's like I try to breathe underwater. But well, so I have to survive. I have to going on, and uh, the first situation was the language. So well, I was living for a long time, for a little time in La Florida, Miami. So, but the life's very fast. I feel I don't belong there. So I have a nephew. He's living here, and he told me, "Come live with us to Wisconsin." Is exactly like Chinandega. Chinandega, it's a city in Nicaragua uh, that they produce cheese. Eh, so actually, we have an slogan that in Spanish is "Los ríos son de leche y las piedras son de cuajada." In English, could it mean the rivers are like a milk and the rocks are like a cottage cheese or something? So he, I told him I'm not sure if I fit in that place because uh, he told me here just in English. Everything is in English. So I'm scared because uh, I was studying English before, but not like a principal language. Just like I want to learn when I listen music and have a little conversation with the uh, tourists in Nicaragua because I was living there. So uh, uh, I was living a good life in my country. I'm not sure how to explain that. I was living, so I never feel that English was very important to my life. I saw, yes, it's important because I need to communicate it, but not to express feeling, not to express uh, what do you think about your life? What do you think about how to change the things for help the other people? So, well, I I decided to move here to Wisconsin, and I tried to learn English with internet courses, but terrible. I don't like the online class. So uh, I was trying, and I find someday I was driving to my job, and I saw that literacy say English class free. So, oh my God. So I decided to turn around in the parking and ask. Fortunately, I asked and they give me all the information. So the only thing I can say when I'm start to study in uh, literacy was I start to feel confidence. I was actor in my country. So I was in front of a lot of people, and, and now I'm nervous. I'm sorry. But
You're doing fabulously.
yes, but you don't feel afraid because you know your language, you're confident in your language, and you know what you say. But in English, it's very different. It's very different because you need to be not careful. I don't want to use that word. You have to use the right word if you want to express
Yes.
a feeling or something or idea. So I understand in literacy that in the first because my first class was in a practice language. I'm sorry, conversation lessons. So when I start, I say, "Oh my God, I understand everything. That feels so good," and I feel like I can speak very fast. I can speak very well, and I don't have any problem with the pronunciation, and that made me feel confident, and that changed the way you see the world.
So important. Confidence and connections are words that I keep hearing associated with the work that you all have done with the Literacy Network. You've described the confidence learning the language has given you, connections. Rhonda, share for a moment or two the tutor who worked with you one-on-one and what an important person she has become in your life.
I've never really I never really got well with women. So I never had any healthy female friends. And so when they said they were going to hook me up with this tutor, automatically a little nervous because it's a female. But I can tell you what, they matched me up with a phenomenal. She not only she believed in me, seen the strengths that I had, and she always made it a point when I was feeling inadequate or down on myself, she would point out those strengths that I had and the areas where I was strong and take me away from the focus of where I felt I was weak or inadequate. And she has become a huge part of my life. She is no longer my tutor now that I'm in college, but she's still a friend. We meet occasionally, go out for lunch. She comes to all of my events, comes anything that I ask her to be a part of. And one of the first female relationships that I've had in my life that has been very healthy and not one-sided. We did have to have a come to Jesus moment one time because I came to our tutor session one day with my rear end on my back a little bit, no, this is not what I come here. We're going to talk about it, get through it, and then start our tutors. So I'm not just a name or a number or a file to her. I was somebody, and I was special to her. And for that, there's no words to describe what that meant to me at that point in my life.
Thank you. Kelly, you said you had found a family at the Literacy Network. Your confidence was built. Your life is so very different today than it was when you started. Tell the audience what you're up to these days.
Hear me? Coming to Literacy Network goes beyond learning. At Literacy Network, I found they are always willing to give us advice, information that you need according to your needs. And they always as well, very well. We feel that we matter, no matter your race, your age, your religion, your culture. We always receive affection, respect, advice. They are always smiling. I can see my tutor. We have been working with the same tutor like 4 years. And I can see her like my relative. She's lovely as all the staff at the Literacy Network. They are always love. I receive love. I still don't feel like a superhero figure. but I am much confident and stronger than I was before. I'm no longer afraid for people making fun about my pronunciation. I don't think a lot about my tongue getting stuck. Like right now. I get new positions in the company where I work. When I started working in the US, I work as a dishwasher, cleaning houses. I currently work in an office as a customer center in Spanish. It's a call center in Spanish. I gave service in Spanish, but the company, an American company, all the communications, emails, all the meetings are in English, and I'm getting close to be able to open my wings and fly above the storm, just like the eagles do.
Julia, I mentioned earlier on that in Nicaragua you were a chef. You are back in a restaurant in the Madison area. And I'm wondering, what are your long-term goals? Where do you eventually want to end up? What do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna change the introduction. There is a word in Spanish that is apapachar. That means you with the soul. So I've started to find that place or the people that make me feel that feeling. So I find a word in English, pampering. That means scram with food or give a lot of food. So that have a lot of meaning for me because not it's specific about the food, the physical food. It's about the knowledge, about the patience, about the everything or all the things that they teach. So I'm working in a restaurant that all the people speak in English. I'm only the one speaking Spanish. So when I go there and I make the interview, I tell the manager, I don't speak English. I can cook, but I can't speak English. So he told me, but you're speaking English with me now. Oh yes, but I can have a good conversation. You're having a conversation with me right now. So I told you, yes, but I talking about my deeply conversation. You are having a deeply conversation right now. So uh, it's funny because all my coworker, they don't integrate me in the group. They make me part of the group, and that have a meaning very different because I know the language is important. So sometimes I don't know how to say something, and I said it. Oh, what is the name that thing that you do for that? And I don't know how to say that word. And he have a patient and tell me, what are you talking about? I'm talking about that. You're talking about that in a specific word of something. And we have a rhyme in the cooler where when I don't know something, they write it and tell me that it's and you can pronounce in that. And usually they are very young. I'm the oldest, the oldest in that job. So sometimes they teach me slam. So was funny because one day he told me, Euler, you know what I mean? Ciao. Uh, know what what I mean. I feel I know the sound. Yes, that is the phrase that Rayo McQueen say in the cards. And yes, cachao. But cachao means that when the wheel broke and it's fall, your car fall because the wheel broke. So I never know that cachao was a phrase. I saw that was a phrase just for a movie, but he teach me, and all the time they teach me. Or when
I
I
think you
don't,
just taught me something too. Listen, I want the audience to have a few minutes to ask you questions. So I'm going to ask you all the same question. You each get only 30 seconds, and I'm going to hold you to it. One of the things I've heard from all of you is how you not only got from the Literacy Network, you want to give back. So starting with Rhonda, 30 seconds, how do you plan, or how are you already giving back?
Really working at Madison College as a tutor for the HSED program that I graduated from, that the Literacy Network helped me accomplish. And I want to say one more thing. The Literacy Network program also helped me. I filled out for a scholarship through the network, and I was blessed to have won the scholarship. So I have my first apartment in 22 years. I live in my own place, and that is thanks to the opportunities that they offer and that they allow us to embrace. And I really am blessed that they felt I was worth investing in, and I am so grateful. Thank you.
Thirty seconds.
This is a difficult question because literacy, in that moment, I feel they give me uh, the opportunity to change the way that I saw my future. It's real because when you can speak English and you have, because I not just only learning English in literacy, I'm learning the culture, I'm learning about a lot of things. So if I have the opportunity to give back that, maybe I would like to be millionaire. So, but in that moment, I know. So I'm not sure. Maybe helping, maybe be part in the moment to helping the other people like they help me. So
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Kelly?
My dream to get paid to train people. Team and leading people is one blessing catch my attention. I am always willing to be part of the activity of the Literacy Network. As a volunteer, I participate in the registration process. Every event that they ask me to participate, I ask a time free in my work or our vacation to participate because I had been received a lot from Literacy Network. I'm always willing to help in everything that they ask me to do. I'm gonna be there.
Thank you. We have time for a couple of questions. Raise your hand and, oh my God, so many questions. No, just project.
Sit in on some of the classes before, and they've just been amazing. And if any of you have an opportunity to sit in on a class, I would highly recommend it. I've been struck by the relationships of students that didn't know each other, and I've lived in countries 5,000 miles apart. Can you tell us about any friendships that you've made? I know you got to know your tutors very well, but are there any fun stories about people that you might have met from Africa or South America or anywhere else?
Thank you. Want to take that, Kelly?
That in the Student Leadership Council, I really like to drive. And you is from Arabic, and we have to speak in English. I was teaching her how to drive, and we have a lot of time to talk about our family, our education, our country. And it was amazing because there are too many different between us, but we feel that we are like sisters.
Thank you.
So, first of all, my question will be for Rhonda. First of all, congratulations. Super proud of you. And congratulations and welcome home. It's been a couple of years, but welcome home. I have an opportunity to teach in the prison system for a while and have some experience. And I know prison can be a time where you can really get inspired or become very uninspired. I want to know from you, what is the one lesson that you took from that experience being incarcerated that you've been able to apply to your educational process that have gotten you over the hump?
Very good question. I decided I didn't want to be a part of the problem anymore. I wanted to be part of the solution. I didn't have to let my past dictate my future, and I didn't have to stay in the victim mentality, that I could overcome and conquer and rewrite my life. It didn't matter how old I was, that I still had time to reinvent myself and be the authentic self that I was meant to be before the lifestyle that I had as a child took away and what I had given away as an adult.
My final thought, it's the eagle is obviously a very important and powerful image for Kelly. And after listening to this conversation with these three remarkable people, I believe you are already soaring, but you will soar even more in the years to come. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I would now like to turn the mic over to Ryan Smith, who is the treasurer of the Literacy Network Board.
I didn't want to do this, but I'm really good at standing awkwardly. I was telling someone earlier, so But good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Smith. As you mentioned, I am the treasurer of the Literacy Network Board. This is my third time attending Reading Between the Wines, and each time really inspired by speakers. So thank you to Juan, Mariana, to Kelly, Blair, Rhonda. Thank you for being here, sharing your stories tonight. In my day job, I work for Park Bank. Park Bank is a longtime supporter of Literacy Network, and it is through a work colleague that I was introduced to this organization. And as soon as I heard about it, I knew that I wanted to be involved. Literacy has always been something that's close to my heart personally. Growing up, I had a stutter and a lot of speaking challenges that I've worked hard to overcome over the years. And one of the best ways that my speech therapist, found to help me was through reading. So having gained reading skills and that have helped me personally, when I found out all the different ways Literacy Network helps people further their goals through literacy and other valuable programming, I knew it was something that I wanted to be a part of. We've all had times, when we've had needed some help to get to the point in our life, and that's something that the Literacy Network does. That's what we provide. And as a board member, I've heard stories of students getting new jobs, becoming U.S. citizens, celebrating high school completion, being able to better support their kids in school, and so much more. But one of my favorite and most memorable experiences with Literacy Network so far has been visiting an ESL class. I saw firsthand the instructor and how eager and engaged the students were. The class was extremely interactive. The students were clearly enjoying themselves, and it was just great to witness how much they were getting out. And that's just one of 50 classes that are offered every semester. So in addition to serving on the board, I'm proud to be a financial supporter of Literacy Network as well. As someone who works in finance, I feel it's always helpful to know where your donation's going. Research shows that adults who participate in 100 or more hours of basic education programming increase their annual income over time by an average of nearly $10,000. Another one is a mother's literacy level is the single greatest determinant in a child's educational success. There's still great need, though, that Literacy Network provides in Dane County. 1 in 7 adults here, which equates to about 80,000 people, do not yet have the English or literacy skills needed to navigate life in our community. Literacy Network has served a record number of students each year the past 3 years in a row. Last year was over 1,700 people served. But at the same time, we've lost nearly $300,000 in federal funding. First was a $90,000 annual grant dedicated to our citizenship program. And now nearly $200,000 a year in refugee funding is set to end this fall. Your support is vital, and when you give to Literacy Network, you can be confident that you are helping people build skills to thrive. Personally, working a little bit with staff and volunteers, I've been amazed by everyone. Everyone seems all on the same page, all focused on the mission, and always thinking about what's best for the people. Literacy Network does a great job of being transparent about where our money is going and how funds are used in a positive way. We consistently get top ratings from organizations such as Candid, Charity Navigator, great nonprofits. You can be confident when you give to Literacy Network. Donation will directly make a positive impact in our community. So, how can we help? Donations can be made by scanning the QR code on your program or by returning the envelope that was on your chair to a staff member or simply mail it in. 100% of tonight's proceeds do support Literacy Network students and will help them achieve their goals of improving their English, supporting their children, obtaining a job or promotion, becoming a U.S. citizen, and finishing high school or college. There's many more. So a few reminders as we conclude. The online auction is still open until 11 o'clock tonight. Make your final bids in the next few hours, and winners will be contacted with details when the event's over. And don't forget to grab your wine bag. There's still a few more over there, I think. And then lastly, thank you for being here tonight. And most of all, thank you for supporting the life-changing impact that this organization